hopping on. My name is Dr. Alex Tam, and welcome to the 12 Game-Changing Habits, the Road to 100. This is part 3 of 3. For those of you who want to watch part 1 and part 2, where we talk about the mind, the body, the nutrition, and chemical imbalances, make sure you go on our YouTube channel, all right, and watch the videos there. It's going to be huge for you to watch all 3. So now let's get started here. Who am I? My name is Dr. Alex Tam. I am a chiropractor at an integrative medical practice here in Vacaville, California. I earned my degree in Bachelor of Science, Exercise Biology from UC Davis, and have been a clinical director at this practice, Absolute Integrative Physical Medicine, since 2009. Now, we've treated over 10,000 patients, analyzed over 100,000 x-rays, and our mission in the practice is to help those with chronic pain get their life back without harmful medications and unnecessary surgeries. The reason why we do this is not only to bring awareness to the public on how they can live healthy, but it's also later on saved as something for our patients, so that they can come back and watch this as well for our current patients and new patients also. Now, like I mentioned, we've done mental health and chemical health. Now we're into physical health. So we have the next half hour to 45 minutes. Let's dive in. Now, number one, when you look at muscle physical inactivity, this is a map. I don't know if anyone's seen this map, but it was reported in 2017 to 2020 that a lot of people in the US have at least 20 to 30% increased mortality rate if they don't exercise enough. Now, this exercise means at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity of physical activity every single day. So how many people in America, when you look at this map, is not getting enough exercise? When you look at the Southeast, part of the Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, over 30% of people, of the population, is not getting enough. Whereas the green zones, right? You have Washington, Utah, Colorado, Vermont. Those people, there's only less than like 15 to 20% or even less that are not getting enough exercise. So what this chart is showing is that there's twice as many people in the dark red Southeast states, Kentucky, West Virginia, that is not getting enough exercise compared to the green ones. Okay. So we have to look at, why is it so important to maintain good exercises? That's because when you exercise, there's over 20 conditions that you can actually prevent and hopefully stay away from as good as you can with the right physical activity. For example, dementia, you can decrease dementia by up to 30% with the right exercise. Mortality, right? Death by 30%. Cardiovascular disease by 35%. Type 2 diabetes, decrease the chance of you getting type 2 diabetes by 40%. Hip fractures, huge, 68%. Right? And you can read the rest. Exercise helps so many things. Now, when you look at, why is it that increasing muscles or maintaining the muscles as we get older is so important? That's because up to 80% of the glycogen and glucose storage is in our muscles, which means if you don't maintain the muscles that you're supposed to maintain, where's your body going to put all the glucose, the glycogen, when you're eating, right? It's going to be in the bloodstream. It's going to be stored as fat instead. Dramatically increase the chance of you getting diabetes. And newer studies are showing that diabetes is the cause of more Alzheimer's and dementia. Also, the medications from diabetes, it's also one of the side effects is causing more Alzheimer's and dementia as well. So maintaining a good muscle tone, phenomenal muscle tone, is key for longevity and health. Okay. Now, you got to increase your flexibility, which means that you have to be flexible. A lot of people, yes, we talk about maintaining muscles, but it's not just strong, bulky muscles and then you're like tight as a ball, all knotted up and everything. You have to be flexible at the same time, because the inability to be flexible means that your joints can't move freely. And if your joints are not able to move freely, well, that's going to cause a lot of inflammation. There was actually a study done back in the 80s where they bound up joints for 7 days, 2 weeks, 3 days, a month. And with that joint not being able to be mobile for just 7 days, right? You get an area that has micro damage, inflammation, and degeneration of that joint. So having good flexibility is key. I want you to be strong, but also you got to be flexible at the same time. You can't be just flexible without any muscles, and you can't have all the muscles in the world and not be flexible. It's got to be a balance of both, right? Now, to help our patients out in the office, we actually give out, and you guys can take a screenshot of this, right? Stretches and exercise. If you have your phone right now, whip it out and scan that QR code right there. You will actually be brought to our website where I personally put together specific stretches. Every single stretch I've recorded and show you exactly how to go through all of them. Strengthening. This is another page that we give to our patients where you can scan the top right and it'll bring you to another page that has all the strengthening exercises that you need, all right, to maintain good upper body strength, lower body strength. Now, at the beginning, I tell you, there were bands that we use in this exercise where people didn't know where to go. So I also included the bands. So it brings you to an Amazon link where you can go specifically to it. Okay. But this is what we do for our patients, because I would love patients not just to be out of pain. That's one thing, but to be flexible and to have the strength so that you can live as long as possible and be as functional as possible. Function is the key. See, in America, we're so hopped up on medications nowadays that you can last and preserve your body for a long time, right? But are you functional for a long time as well? That's the key. Now, we've talked about exercise. Next, let's talk about sleep. Why is sleep so important? Because sleep, people say, well, I lay down, and sometimes most of us in the US are not getting enough sleep, right? Last night, I got 8 hours and 20 minutes. I average between 7.5 to 8. Once in a while, something wakes me up, I'll get 7, but usually 7.5 to 8. Yesterday must have been just a great day as our time zones are changing. The sun's going down a little early. Melatonin's already cooking up in my body a little earlier. But sleep allows you to cope better, allows you to plan better, allows you to be more alert, better with problem solving, helps you stay off that coffee if you didn't need it, right? But also the benefits of sleep. Getting enough sleep helps with the decrease of heart disease, kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, obesity, depression. So you got to have enough sleep. Some of you who are listening to this may not sleep well because you're laying down, but you're not getting the sleep that you need. You're just wide awake. Well, but I'm laying down, Dr. Tam. Well, laying down doesn't matter. You can't just lay there. You have to fall asleep because your brain is what needs to recuperate and heal, right? It's not the bodies and muscles. See, it's your mind and brain. Your brain burns a lot of calories throughout the day. It needs to rest. All right. So let's look at how much sleep do we actually need. This is a chart. Whip out your phone, take a screenshot of this, because newborns, look at the bottom, right? Recommended range 14 to 17 hours. Okay. And think about as we get older, right? I'm in that 24 to 64 range, 7, 8, and 9. See, some people might only need 6, some people need 10, but that 7, 8, and 9 is optimal if you're above 65. All right. This is coming from the National Sleep Foundation. I'm giving you a lot of data here backed by research. This is not something I'm just making up. I like to back my data up with a lot of research. Okay. But even above 65, some people will say, I only get 6 to 7 hours of sleep, or maybe 5 to 6 hours of sleep. That's not enough. 7 to 8 is what's recommended. Stay off your phones, right? About an hour before you go to sleep, get off that phone. But if you have to be on the phone, wear some blue light blocking glasses. These are called Swannies. These are my day glasses. They're yellow tint. My night ones have an orange tint. Okay. So it's important, right? Now, how do you get better sleep besides wearing some glasses? Go to bed the same time each night and get up the same time each morning, including weekends. Those of you who like to do things on weekends, hang out with friends, you sleep later on Saturday or Sunday night, it's going to throw off your Monday mornings and Saturday and Sunday mornings, no doubt. Okay. Because the cycle with where you sleep and the time you sleep is actually more important than actually how much time you spend sleeping. How many of you have slept too much, right? Felt tired? It's too little and felt tired anyways, right? Make sure your bedroom's nice and quiet. Take away the electronic devices, all right? Avoid huge meals before you go to sleep, because if you eat a huge meal, not only does your body have to attempt to digest all of it, but has to burn off some of those calories, right? And then also get some exercise, okay, throughout the day in the morning. Not only do I love exercises in the morning, but I also take a nice stroll, a nice walk after dinner to help me digest. It's dark outside. My body's building melatonin, right? I usually will brush before I take my walk and also shower before my walk. That way, I'm not taking like a brisk walk where I'm sweating all over the place. It's just a stroll, right? Helps me with digestion so that the moment I'm done with my walk, I go right to bed. Okay. My walks are usually 15, 20 minutes max, right? Maybe half an hour. So those are some things that you have to do to make sure you get better sleep. Okay. If you're not getting it already. Now, the next thing is grounding. I want to cover this. Who's heard of grounding? And grounding, or earthing, some people call it, is our connection to the earth. Some of you who've been to the beach, maybe walk around, hike around the forest, been out and about, right? Live further away from the city, and you feel, wow, extra recharge. Maybe a weekend where you go camping or go for a hike, right? You feel recharged. Why do you feel recharged? Because when we're out there in nature, our body gets something called negative ions, right? We get extra negative ions that helps us recharge. But on top of that, if we're walking on the sand, right, our body's absorbing those negative ions through our feet. You hop into the ocean, right? You soak in there. It's huge when you're able to do something like that. Okay. So you have to make sure that you work on doing that. All right. Get connected to the earth. Now, if you ask me, well, Dr. Sam, I don't have time for that. You can't have you don't have a choice. You shouldn't not have time for it. This is something you have to make times for, because having negative ions will reduce free radicals, keeps your cells from oxidizing as quickly. You guys seen where you peel an apple and after you leave it out for a while, it turns kind of brownish, right? That's oxidation. Oxidation is when there's too many positive ions in the body. Your cells do the same thing. They actually break down faster, right? That's why people say, oh, you got to take in antioxidants. All right. So that's what earthing or grounding gives you. You guys have to do that. Okay. It's so important. Now, what are other important things? If you're stressed, okay, you feel extra stress, nothing really helps. Don't look to medication. Do some grounding. Go to the beach, do some mountain hiking, right? Have If you have digestive issues, grounding can help with that. Okay. Eating a meal outside, breathing in fresh air, right? Walking outside. It actually helps with the gut. Your gut has more microbiome cells that is microbiome, which is not your own cells, right? Non-human cells, part of the microbiome. You have more microbiome cells than you have human cells in your gut. Okay. So that's huge. Grounding first thing in the morning, right? Absorb some sunlight. Go out there. If there's sun when you first wake up, go out there and absorb some sun. Walk in the sun. 20 minutes of sunlight, you'll get quite a bit of vitamin D when you can do that as well, right? Gardening, okay? Make sure you use good fertilizers if you do, but walking around the dirt, that could be important. Playing in the dirt, right? This is allowing you to also connect with the ground and also exchange negative ions as well. Okay. Working out outside. These are other forms of grounding. Stretching outside, working out outside. There's gyms, right? Where it's all the cement, the pads and everything. You're breathing in the same air. Once in a while, go outside. Okay. I love just kicking my daughter outside and have her just play outside. And then once again, being in the water. That's huge. Water-based exercises, saltwater pools. Saltwater pools are so much better than your chlorine water pools. And if you can do it in the ocean, find somewhere where you're not going to get hypothermia after 5 minutes, like in Northern California, you're going to be okay. All right. Now, the next thing that's very, very important, especially during the summer and also when people are going to high altitude places, is sun protection. Okay. Why did I add this part of the physical care? Why is it so important to have good skin care? That is because skin is the largest organ in the body. The largest organ in your body is your skin. We absorb everything through our skin, but there's so many things that we don't know about skin care that we should. Number one being sunblock, right? Do not use a chemical sunblock. Chemical sunblock is very, very damaging to the body. Use a physical sunblock. You need a barrier to block out the sun, not so much change your body's chemistry, because when you use chemical sunblock, there's studies shown that you can actually increase the chance of skin cancer. Okay. So make sure you take care of your body. In 2020, California became the first state, all right, to issue a statewide ban on 24 different chemicals. So make sure you look at them, right? There's a reason. If you're not in California that you're watching this, you should pay attention. Methylene glycol, formaldehyde, right? Formaldehyde is in some skincare products. Formaldehyde is what they use to embalm dead bodies to help preserve them. Okay, it's banned because it's toxic. There's so many skincare products that are toxic for you, including some of these over here. Take a screenshot. Parabens, right? Aluminum, formaldehyde, phthalates, oxybenzone. Okay, these are amazingly toxic chemicals that you will find in a lot of products that you don't know. They're carcinogens. Carcinogens mean that they can cause cancer. Okay. It's in a lot of skincare products. So instead, look at Dr. Bronner's. Okay. On the left, you got Alba, the Dr. Bronner's soap, right? You have other creams and even an antioxidant cleanser that we found that could be very, very, safe. These are all found at your neighborhood market. We found these on Sprouts, and I know these are good, positive brands that could be for you. Okay. Now, here's the thing. This is, let me check what my time is. Hey, we got done within about 20 minutes here. And the reason why I do this is to make sure everyone stays healthy physically, right? With what we need to do. Now, I also want to tell you guys something as well, is health, the reason why we did a 3-part series this time around is because health is not just about all physical. It's mental and chemical as well. What you put in the body is the chemical, right? Physical is super important. And also what you think about is also important as well. All right. Now, if there's any way that we can help you further, you can always leave us a message, right? You can drop a message to us, text us, our office, email us, any way you like. Right now, what I like to do is, since we ended a few minutes early, I'm going to stop my screen share, okay, and see if any of you guys have questions. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes. If you guys have questions, okay. If you don't have questions, I'm going to hop off in about a minute or so. So, anyone has questions about what we just talked about?
Good presentation, Dr. Ding. Very good. This is Crystal.
Hey, Crystal, how are you?
Fine. I missed the last two. I was busy at work, but I did the first one, the last one, but I got some ideas from it.
Awesome. Awesome. It's on YouTube, and you can click on YouTube, look at our videos, and the first one and second one's on there. So I'm glad that you were able to enjoy it. And thank you for showing up today.
Okay, thank you.
All
Dr.
right.
Tam, Dave
Yes.
Peters for you.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, so I'm outside all weekend long on the ranch, but I'm wearing shoes. I'm wearing boots. Uh, I mean, should I be going barefoot when I can?
Well, here's the thing. If you're outside all day long, right? And if the dirt that you are on, does it have chemicals in it, or
No,
no chemicals?
no.
No chemicals whatsoever. Then do maybe half the day, as long as your feet can take it.
Yeah.
Do some grounding, walk around in the dirt. Absolutely. The dirt, the grass. The only time I tell people not to walk around in the dirt or grass, like at golf courses where they really put a lot of chemical in that grass and dirt, I said, don't walk in that.
Right.
That might
Right.
cause more problems.
Awesome.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for showing up, Dave. All right. Well, I'm glad that we were able to spend this time together. Thank you, all of you, so much. And we'll see you next month for our next webinar. Have a great day, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, too.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Bye.